Welcome back to another episode of Music on the Move. I'm your host, Savannah Fortis, and today we are celebrating. We're celebrating the end of the year and the start of a new one. 2024 was a lot of things to me. Challenging, exciting, full of changes, new people, new places. But one of the biggest landmarks of the year was that 2024 will go down as the year that Music on the Move finally launched off the dock of my mind, as I like to say, and into the digital sea of the internet. Despite being gifted with the idea of Music on the Move back in 2021, and even getting material, which ended up becoming the episode Music is My Language, it took me another 3 years to actually release the first episode. And honestly, I'm really glad it did take all of that time. I think big ideas and projects and passions and all these types of things have a life of their own, and we're just carriers. We're the vessels which give them life in this world. And even though Music on the Move came to me as a concept at that time, and so much of my life and my previous experiences had all pointed me towards telling these stories, it just wasn't time, and I just wasn't ready. And that's okay. Something I really want to stress is that in a world oversaturated with content often made to feed algorithms and not minds, not spirits, that's exactly what I don't want. I don't want to make Music on the Move because of some invisible outside pressure of the social web to always have to make something. I want to make it because I feel it's a truth to be told. I want it to truly come from my heart. I want to be moved to make it. I want to be vulnerable telling the stories I find the most important. This year, I started to do that.
I went back and dug into one of the foundational stories of my life to understand the ignition of both my love for the world and music.
The echoes of Encarta still linger in my memory on a daily basis, and now I can say with certainty I was not a solo traveler on my sonic journeys around the world. For so many, Encarta was more than just a program. It was the spark that ignited a small flame of curiosity, passion, and excitement for the world.
I rediscovered the fieldwork that started Music on the Move back in Iraqi Kurdistan and was finally able to share the story of one of the many incredible humans I come across in my journeys.
They saw my CV, they said, "Oh, very good, but sorry, you cannot speak Kurdish because our students are Kurdish." So first time they said, "No, we cannot accept you." I said, I'm teaching music. Music is my language. They said, "No. Our students, they cannot understand you."
I found ways to connect even simple travels to meet friends with the bigger picture of deep listening to the world around us and the music we choose to hear.
Music stores, like bookshops, are magical microcosms of the world with stories, feelings, ideas, history, and sounds packaged up and waiting to be rummaged through.
And I stumbled upon a grand musical adventure when I least expected it, but needed it the most as a reminder of myself. And this last story even became a finalist at the 65th edition of the Thessaloniki International Film Festival's podcast competition, which I was so happy to take part in. And while there were only 4 episodes released this year, those 4 stories all meant something to me very, very much. The meaning behind each one was carefully considered as a message I want to send out to the world. It meant so much to me to have the privilege of sharing these stories, and was an even greater honor to have you all listening. So thank you very, very much for being here. I want to make these stories always in alignment with the key message of Music on the Move, which is emphasizing the power of sound and music in our lives and really listening to the world around us. It is now 2025, and in the coming year, I hope I have the capacity to share even more of all of that. But before I share anything else with you, I also wanted to take a moment and answer two of the most asked questions people have messaged me about after the episodes. The first being, where do I find these stories or ideas? And the answer is pretty simple. It is just straight up curiosity. I am endlessly curious, and especially for things I'm passionate about, like music and the world. So as I continue to seek out both things, it seems like more just spill onto my lap. The two stories I shared this year that included on-the-ground fieldwork happened to be pretty serendipitous. Both in Iraqi Kurdistan in 2021 and in Georgia this past year, I had no plans. That was really true when I said that in the episode. But I like to believe, as it always happens, that music and my curiosity of it led me in the right directions. And these are just two of the most well-documented cases in my life, but that has happened to me so many times. I kind of wish I had a more insightful answer or even a specific method, which is maybe to be seen as time goes on. But for now, that is the simple truth, curiosity. I can say, though, that once things start rolling, and this is the case in majority of my spontaneous trips, the key is adaptability and the desire to really listen to the story that is unfolding before you and not presuming a story. It's a skill to do that, definitely, and one to hone. But once you do, and once you begin to, it is a skill that will be endlessly beneficial to your life in finding stories, in dealing with people, in handling what just comes at you from life. The second question, which is really funny, but it had everyone wondering, why a cargo ship? And the answer to this question is that I just wanted to. There's no other reason than I just wanted to. I had the idea of leaving Athens by bus and crossing Bulgaria by train or another bus, and then shipping it across the Black Sea. And to cross the Black Sea into Georgia, at least from Bulgaria, where I left, there are no standard passenger ships, only a cargo shipping company that makes the voyage. So to arrange that, it takes a little communication at the beginning just to set things up, but overall it's relatively easy, and the company is super pleasant. The whole experience was really pleasant. The rooms are small, it is what it is, but it's a great adventure. It's a great experience. They take really good care of you. 3 delicious meals a day. I was so surprised by the meals. Amazing. And yeah, although they've been really useful, if not crucial to my life, I am not a big fan of travel by plane. If I can, I prefer buses, I prefer trains, definitely boats. Boats are really exciting to take. And for this journey in this particular region, I liked the idea of slowly dragging myself across this little expanse of the world and really feeling that with all of my senses instead of just, being whipped through the air by a plane. So yeah, if you have any questions about any of the episodes, please do feel free to reach out. Contact me via any of the social media accounts for Music on the Move, or email us at musiconthemovepodcast@gmail.com, or visit the website and contact us there. And before we go, before we look forward, there's something that I started during the initial year of the pandemic in 2020. I christened a holiday end of the year email, which I sent out to like a small semi-random group of people, basically whatever email addresses I had at the time, and it wouldn't be too weird or random to send them something. And now it's kind of become a yearly thing. The email usually includes holiday wishes, sometimes a few photos, and it always has a couple of my favorite quotes or poems I've come across in the year. This year, since I have Music on the Move as a better medium to share things through, I decided to do that here. And I've read a lot of great things this past year and the last 2 years really that have enriched my my spiritual journey of understanding the power of sound and music. And ultimately, those things have helped me be ready to share these stories in a way that I want to, and in a way that aligns with the deeper message that I am trying to portray with all of these stories. And in the future, actually, I hope to do a proper episode on some of those books, and I would deem them, quote unquote, essential Music on the Move reading material. But for now, I just want to share a little quote from the ultimate book. If you know me, you've definitely heard me mention this book, The Mysticism of Sound and Music, the Sufi teaching of Hazrat Inyat Khan. I found this book in a little bookshop in downtown Cairo when I visited Egypt in February 2023. And as soon as I saw the title, I knew that book was mine. Mysticism, sound, music, Savannah. That was it. And since then, it has been one of the few things to really ever put into words some of the innate feelings and ideas I've always held about sound and music and their role in our world and our lives. So that is just an invaluable book to me. And I wanted to leave you all with a few quotes from that as we end the year and we go forth into the next one.
From whatever country he comes, and whatever music he hears, if the music has a soul, if he seeks for the soul in music, he will appreciate and admire all music. Our sense of music, our attraction to music, shows that music is in the depth of our being. Music is behind the working of the whole universe. Music is not only life's greatest object, but music is life itself.
So all of that being said, what can you expect to hear here in the next year? 2025, Music on the Move. Definitely new adventures. I have a couple up my sleeve. Definitely some more experimentation, some more soundscapes, some more stories, some more characters. Certainly some big ideas. I would love to share with you some of these more philosophical ideas behind concepts of music on the move. Many things. And I'm very excited to share more. Please make sure wherever you're listening, you subscribe, you follow, you like. We are also building out our YouTube page to include some extras, some extra field recording songs that we pick up on the road, extras, fun stuff. So make sure you're over there, make sure you subscribe, make sure you check us out. But again, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me on the first year. It meant so much to know that there's a group of people out in the world who wants to listen to these stories, who cares about these stories, who cares about music in a way that just goes beyond the surface level understanding of what music is. People who want a deeper understanding of the world and the way we can connect with people all around us. We don't have to go take cargo ships across seas to understand the meaning of these stories. They can manifest in situations all around us in our own lives. And I just thank you so much for taking the time to be on this journey with me. I'm Savannah Fortis, and that was another episode of Music on the Move. And until next time, keep your ears open, listening, and exploring. This episode of Music on the Move was written and produced by me, Savannah Fortis, and the Music on the Move theme song composed by Daphne Farazi.